Welcome back, friends, to another walk along the ancient path. Today we're stepping into a question that many believers wrestle with, even if they've never said it out loud. We talk often about being born again, about Yahweh awakening the heart, opening the eyes, and drawing us into new life through Yeshua. But then we come to Revelation 18, where Yahweh says, "Come out of her, my people." And suddenly, a lot of us wonder, come out of what? If I'm born again, why is there still something I'm being called to leave behind? And what does Babylon look like in our time? One of our listeners sent in a question that captures this tension perfectly. So today, I'm bringing that question to the table, and we're going to let Declan and Christian walk us through it. They're going to help us see how New Birth and Revelation's warning are actually part of the same movement. Yahweh calling His people into life, and then calling His people into purity. So settle in for this one. It's honest, it's clarifying, and it goes straight to the heart of the covenant path. Let's get to the listener's question. Why does the call, "Come out of her, my people," in Revelation 18:4 still apply to us today? Wasn't Babylon just an ancient empire?
It applies because Babylon in Scripture is not only a place, it's a pattern. From Genesis 11 to Revelation 18, Babylon represents a way of life that opposes Yahweh. Pride, mixture, idolatry, control, and the corruption of worship. That pattern keeps reappearing in every generation, including ours. So the call is ongoing. Yahweh is telling His people to step away from the systems and habits that shape them toward Babylon's way instead of His covenant path.
Babylon rises wherever people build towers instead of altars, where self-exaltation replaces humility, where wealth replaces generosity, where mixture replaces holiness, and where institutions overshadow Yahweh's nearness. Revelation 18:4 echoes the same covenant call found in the prophets. Flee from Babylon. Jeremiah 51:6. Touch no unclean thing. Isaiah 52:11. Return to me. Malachi 3:7. It's the shepherd calling his flock back to a path of purity, loyalty, and nearness. If Babylon's pattern still exists, and it does, then Yahweh's call to "Come out of her, my people," still stands. It's mercy, not fear. It's protection, not burden. It's the Father leading His children away from mixture and back to the path where His presence rests.
The listener also asks, is there something about the born-again experience that relates to this command? How do the two connect?
Yes, deeply. New birth is the starting point of leaving Babylon. Being born again is Yahweh awakening the heart, opening the eyes, stirring conviction, creating hunger for righteousness, and shifting allegiance from self-rule to Yahweh's rule. But new birth is only the beginning. Revelation's command, "Come out of her," is the next step. New birth gives life. Coming out gives direction. New birth awakens the heart. Coming out orders the walk. You can't stay in Babylon's ways and live out the new life Yahweh has placed within you.
Modern Christianity often treats the born-again experience as a full destination, an emotional moment, a prayer, a private spiritual awakening. But in Scripture, new birth is the doorway, not the journey. A newborn lamb still has to stand, find the path, and walk behind the shepherd. Likewise, a believer born of the Ruach HaKodesh is awakened into a kingdom with different values, different rhythms, different loyalties. But here's the tension. Many believers are born again while still surrounded by Babylon's patterns, Babylonian calendars, Babylonian entertainment, Babylonian definitions of success, even Babylon-shaped church culture. A new heart inside old systems creates mixture, confusion, and spiritual exhaustion. That's why the call to "come out of her" remains vital. It is Yahweh saying, now that your eyes are open, now that your heart is alive, walk out of the systems that suffocate the very life I've placed within you. New birth empowers the very obedience Revelation calls for. The Ruach gives the strength to rise, to leave the mixture, and to walk the ancient path with Yeshua, clean, steady, and covenant loyal.
The listener adds, "So are you saying new birth isn't enough by itself?"
New birth is essential, but it's the beginning, not the end. It gives the life needed to walk out of Babylon, but you still have to walk out. Scripture never presents new birth as a substitute for obedience, holiness, or covenant loyalty. It is the power that enables them.
Think of Israel in the Exodus. Yahweh brought them out of Egypt by his power, but they still had to walk out. The Passover deliverance was the miracle. The journey into covenant was the response. New birth is our Passover moment. Come out of her is our journey into covenant faithfulness. Yahweh doesn't awaken a heart simply to leave it inside Babylon's ways. He births us into a new life, so we can walk a new path, with Yeshua at the front, the Ruach as breath, and the covenant as the map.
All right, friends, that's a good place to pause for today. What we've heard is simple but weighty. Being born again is Yahweh opening the eyes. And come out of her, my people, is Yahweh teaching the feet how to walk. New birth grants life. Coming out of Babylon shapes the way. Both are gifts. Both are invitations. Both are parts of the same rescue. And if you felt something stirring as Declan and Christian shared, perhaps conviction, perhaps clarity, or just the sense that Babylon's pull is stronger than you realized, don't ignore it. That's the Ruach doing exactly what the Scriptures say he does, pointing us back to the shepherd's path. So as you go into the rest of your day, take this with you. Yahweh never calls his people out to shame them. He calls them out to bring them close. The ancient path is still open. The shepherd is still walking. And the invitation is still in front of each of us. Thanks for joining us on this journey. We'll see you next time as we continue learning what it means to walk the ancient way together.